This is Gambler's Table. You flip coins, you get money, and I 100%ed it, and it was all right. Took only about 22 hours of my life away, so uh, right. So what do I do? And okay, every time they land on money, I get money. Right. So starting off strong here, I immediately got my first achievement. It was the one of many achievement. This is pretty simple actually. All it requires is purchasing a helper. The wee helper guys pretty much they flip the coin for you. So instead of me having to click it and flip the coins, these little fellas will just go around and essentially flip the coins for you. So you obviously don't have to be spamming, your mouse button into dust. I also got all of these achievements literally really simple to get. You just have to click through the menus. It's not that deep, to be honest. And after a little bit of snooping, I found this little arcade looking box thing in the bottom. It's the arcade machine, or the capsule machine, whatever it's called, and every time you flip tails, so that's when you don't get money, you get skull tokens, and then you can spend those skull tokens on purchasing hats for your little dudes to run about in. I feel like the more coins I buy, the better, because honestly, I can click these really fast. The helpers are, helpful, but I can also just go around clicking all of this shit. Well put there. The key to that, well, my little tactic at the start was just buying as many coins as possible so I could flip them while my helpers went round and essentially flipped the bigger coins. That way I could focus on the small coins, just grinding out the money. And the helpers would flip the more valuable coins because I couldn't be arsed doing all that. Eventually, with enough flipping, I was able to purchase my own hat for my little guys, and I got the sombrero. Yeah, not the drippiest of hats, but it is what it is. I also got this weird Russian hat, the Ushanka. Is that how you pronounce it? The Ushanka thingy? I have no clue, but at least I was getting some drip for them, so they didn't look bolder than our certain favorite star of a show. After some more grinding, I finally was able to get my first skill tree point. Now, the way you get the skill tree points is earning money. Once you earn enough money, it will tick over and you will get a skill tree point. You can then obviously spend these in the skill tree. And I would just like you to note down, look how small this skill tree is. Because later in the video, a absolute disaster strikes my achievement run and delays it by about 8 hours. So just take it in, look at this skill tree, look how small it is, and you'll soon learn. You'll soon learn. But with that, I'm spending the point on my first upgrade. After spending my skill point, it essentially works like a rebirth in a shitty Roblox game. You know, when you get to like a bajillion, codillion coins, and it's like, oh, well, actually, you need 5 rebirths for this. So you just have to sit and rebirth over and over again. It's pretty much just a way to keep you playing in the game, to be honest, but that's what the skill tree does. So it reset me back to ground zero. But with that upgrade, I was actually able to get like back to the point I was, and after a long day of grinding, it was finally time to do the most important thing of the day. Oh my, it's time for the Portugal game. So I got this next achievement, Gold Digger, which is for purchasing my first gold coin. And if you're wondering why I had support for Portugal, it was because I had them in my work sweepstake. This means I stood to win 200 quid. Obviously, they did not win the whole tournament, as Spain did. Congratulations, Spain, but RIP my 200 quid. Grinding out a lot more of these gold coins and the like, I was able to get a lot more skill points. I was making my way to 2 skill points and I was able to rebirth again. Also, from getting these achievements, I unlocked this table. It's the Gambler's Table. Can I move this fella? This table has an effect on it, which every now and then, I don't know the exact chances, every now and then, when you flip a coin, it will be 7 times in value. This will soon become my favorite table of the whole thing. I actually genuinely think every other table in the game is useless, but this table right here, it carries the playthrough. I'm telling you, there's nothing like this table. I also unlocked this skill. This here is the thief. As you can see, I popped him, and when you pop him, it times every value of your coin by 10. Essentially, what this means is big money. And I was able to reach my first 1 million and get my achievement for reaching 1 million. And with all the money I got from that achievement, I was able just to pour it into more gold coin upgrades so I could get even more money, because at this point of the game, the key is grinding out those skill tree points. You see how fast my skill tree points are going up there? That's because of the thief. He is so goated, it's not even funny. At this point, I didn't know the gambler's table was the goat of all tables, so I was experimenting around. This is the altar table. Essentially what it means is you get more skull tokens from flipping heads. So if you were grinding out hats or whatever, this would be the table for you. It also allows for when you get a skill point and you rebirth, you keep all your money again. Like, well, you keep a certain percentage of it. It's like 10% of the money you've made that run. When you rebirth, you'll keep it and take it into the next run. This is really good for early progression, but I didn't use it very often. I'm looking back on the thing and thinking about it. I actually think it probably would have been really useful to use this table, because then you can just fly through the start of the game or the starting sequence really easy and just bang out a load of upgrades, and you can actually get quite far on the normal table anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. At this point, I was raking in loads of money, and my point was just to spam the screen with coins. Also, remember this. Remember what the golden era looks like. Look how many coins I have on my screen, because everything will change later in this video. Everything to do with this game, they really cucked me over here. But I was making mad money, and I was just pushing for the next skill point. This table, it genuinely felt forever when I was using this table, like trying to get money. But it's just because I wasn't on the gambler's table, and that luck you'd get every now and then would come in super handy for those big bonuses, especially when it's paired with the thief. When it's paired with the thief and you get a bonus, it's unstoppable. Back on the gambler's table, because at this point I think I've realized how actually OP it is, and I will briefly explain what this little angel looking thing at the top of the screen is. So you see that little funny looking aura around it? Essentially every single coin that is flipped within that aura gets a massive boost on value. The only problem is this angel thing will move periodically, and it makes it really hard to get a bunch of coins into the middle. Stage of the game, I was starting to rake in loads of money. The only problem is every time you get a skill tree point, obviously the amount of money you need to get before the next one will significantly increase. So it was getting really hard to get skill tree points. So I decided to invest in the platinum coin upgrade. This essentially allows you to unlock a coin past the gold coin, which is the platinum coin. After purchasing it, I also got an achievement, as you could see, and this coin raked in money. This coin was a huge boost. I should have been investing in the upgraded coins from the very beginning, because they genuinely earn so much. I mean, look at that. I'm flipping like 70k, 280k was that on the screen there. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of dough. And when you start upgrading it, getting the platinum elixir upgrades, which will double the coin value, you start earning so much money. You actually, like, it's not even funny. So this will greatly boost my progress towards the next skill point, which is genuinely all I need at this point. As you can see, I was really putting a lot of effort into this game. I was genuinely trying my damnedest to get as much money as possible. Just look how hard I'm working. No, I genuinely got something stuck in my eye. I actually do not know what was in my eye, but it was the worst itch ever. It was genuinely as if somebody just poured straight asbestos into my eyeballs, and I was wiping my eyes and stuff, and it was just making it horrible. It was making it even worse. I had to go rinse my eyes under the water. I actually don't know what happened, because I was just sitting in my room. I don't get it. I was just sitting in my room, and it just happened. It just spawned out of nowhere. It's like my eyes breathed in like 80 particles of some shite, but nevertheless, I was making money. Whether I was there or not, I was making mad dough. What am I gonna get? And with that mad dough, I was able to get more skill tree points. Look at that, 3 skill tree points. That is insane. I also got this really handy upgrade that'll come in come into play later. It's the copper upgrade. This is the glass table. Essentially, it means you can't click coins. So the only way you can earn money is through your helpers, but the helpers get a boost I genuinely hate this table. I think it's utterly useless, boring. It's like watching paint dry. Genuinely, look at my face. Look how unentertained I am right now. That's how boring this table is. I would not recommend it. So naturally, I had to switch back over. Like genuinely, I had to switch back over. I could not be on that table any longer. It was the most boring experience, and I wasn't earning that much money either. So back onto the gambler's table. This time I was ready to make moves. As you can see, I only have copper coins on the screen. That's because I'm trying to get a different achievement, although I paired it with this achievement here, the Lone Wolf achievement, where you have to get to 1 billion without using the helpers. The easiest way to do this is obviously well, I did it with the copper coins because I'm trying to get this achievement, keeping it simple, which is reaching 10 billion while only using copper coins. So the way I did this was through the upgrade I was talking about earlier, which is the copper corrode one, where once they all corrode like this, if you pop a thief, you genuinely get like millions from the copper coins. And since you can buy so many of them, since it's so cheap, you rake in so much money. It's definitely the best way to do this achievement, in my opinion. And I was able to get the 10 billion easy. Just had to wait a little bit for the thief spawns and the coins to erode, but genuinely it wasn't that much of a hassle. I also decided to test out this table, the marble table. It is like the opposite of the glass table, so once you buy a helper, you don't get the buffs anymore, and the buffs on this table are your cursor is worth more money. I of course stupidly bought the helpers right away because I completely forgot that that was the upgrade. I don't know what I was thinking here. I should have at least tested this table's potential out a little bit more, but I didn't, and I just bought helpers because I'm a creature of habit. What can I say? When I was making so much money, I was able to get the diamond coins. This allowed me to get the achievement for buying a diamond coin. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. These diamond coins are obviously worth more than the platinum coins, and they are a godsend. The amount of money you can make is insane. However, I have not discovered my full earning potential. Also, don't know if you caught a glimpse of it there. On the platinum coins, there appears this little monster every now and then, and if you flip it, it'll give you a 3% bonus on every single profit you make. It comes in really handy, especially if you stack it. You can see in the bottom right, it says the visitor, and it is at 120%. That is the total bonus I've collected. So I've essentially collected a 120% overall bonus to all my earnings. It's just something I wanted to buy as soon as possible because then I can just keep it ticking over and over. By the end, I think I have like 2000% or something. It comes in really, really handy. Makes such a small difference, but it's a big one. Again, I decided to respec. This time I put my points into the missile. I don't actually know if the missile is worth it, but it feels worth it because as soon as I got it, I started earning so much money. Essentially, what it does is every now and then, these guys will fly down on little rockets. The helpers will fly down on little rockets and bomb your coins. Yeah, you heard me. They bomb your coins. They LARP terrorists and they bomb your coins. And they flip them all though, so I mean you can't complain. Oh my God. I mean just look at the mayhem going on the screen with all the rockets, all the coins, all the helpers. The mayhem is unreal, but the profits are also unreal. 24 billion. Didn't think I'd ever hit that. When I was looking at the achievements at the start of the game and it was telling me, you need 100 trillion, lad. I was thinking, what the shite? I'm only sitting on 100k here. How the bollocks am I going to get 100 trillion? But seeing this, seeing the vision, I know exactly how I'm going to get 100 trillion coins. I was just deciding at this point I need to grind out more skill tree points. It's the only thing I'm lacking at this point. I'm rolling in dough, I'm rolling in upgrades. I just need to try and get this skill tree maxed as soon as possible. And boy, I should have listened to myself because disaster will strike. At this point, I'd seen this intro about a bajillion times. I was genuinely starting to get kind of sick of seeing this four little dudes running about on my screen just flipping coins. Like, do they not have anywhere better to be? Do they not have a family to go see? Why are they just running around flipping coins? It actually started frying me out, something shocking. I can't even lie to you. Progressing later on, I was accumulating skill points at a alarming rate. As you can see, 4 skill points. I wanted to get to 5. I was feeling like it. And I had the income to do so. Because call me Jeff Bezos. I'm making a fortune. Like, richest man in the world alert right here. In fact, actually, I wish this was my real life earnings, because if this is my real life earnings, I'd probably be in the Bahamas or something right now. I can't even lie to you. Gathering my 5 skill points, I invested them immediately into the skill tree, and maybe I should have got a little bit more, because it would have made my life a lot, and I mean a lot, easier down the line, because although I'm getting these skill points and it looks like I'm making a lot of progress and it looks like I'm close to the end, because I think it's the only achievement I need left. And oh, wait, sorry. That and 100 trillion is the only achievement I need left. Though it looks like I'm making a fortune, I'm about to be set back silly. The next day, I decided to load up the game and I look at the bottom and it says I've got 75 skill points. Horrible news has struck me. They updated the freaking game. Look at the skill tree, bruh. Look at the skill tree, brother. Like, it's gonna take forever. That's right. They decided it must have put in the night shift over at the office, and they decided to update the game. So I literally loaded back on, and I saw it said at the bottom of my screen, "Oh, 75 skill points," and I was like, "What the hell? Why do I have 75 skill points? This must be a glitch." Nah, they've added a load of shite. Like, look at this. They've added a mine. They've added a mine to Gambler's Table. They've also added a slot machine. They've added a horse betting. They've added new coins. They added so much shit, and I'm not complaining. Although I was about 5 points away from getting the last achievement, and now I'm about fucking 55. So you know what? Actually, in fact, I am complaining. I am complaining. Now, let me explain some of the new things they added. The mineshaft. It allows you to assign helpers to the mineshaft. If you've ever played that game on, what's it, Cool Math Games, and it's like the one where it's like Age of like Civilization or some shite like that. I always used to play it, and then you could assign your population to different roles. Anyway, I'm ranting, but it's kind of like that. They will mine for resources, such as copper, diamond, platinum, and all, like every resource you have coin in, pretty much. And it will boost the value of the coin and allow you to buy more upgrades for the mineshaft. The slot machine, obviously, it allows you to spend coins, like your actual coins, like the copper, silver coins, and whatnot, to spin the slot machine, and it will give you certain upgrades. The best one, in my opinion, is the 777 upgrade, which multiplies the value of everything by 10 for 7 seconds. It's really handy because if you get lucky, you can pair it with the thief, so that's 20 times money for 7 seconds, and it's, oh, you rake in so much money. Although they did kind of balance it, I suppose, because with the new coins they added, you're able to make fortune. My favorite coin they added was the uranium coin. I think it's a cool coin, and you can get an upgrade for it where it blows up. It's absolutely sick, and it gets you really good money. It's a really good, like, mid-range coin, if you know what I mean. But it is still below. Oh, and I got the achievement. The thing. I did get the achievement here to earn 1 trillion as well. So the only achievements now I need is 100 trillion and the achievement to get all the skill points now. 100 trillion seems like a lot, but it's really not. Like, look at that. I'm earning so much money at this point. I just need one big final push to 100 trillion. And honestly, 100 trillion comes like chump change, because of the next coin they added, which was the crypto coin. The crypto coin works just, well, not just like real life. As you can see, this little graph I was looking at, it will spike and drop. So when it drops, all the upgrades and the cost of the crypto coins becomes less. but then when it spikes, obviously they become more expensive, but your coin is worth more. So when it's low, your coin's worth less. When it's more, your coin's worth more, obviously. And it can go up to 10 times value, and it's already worth a fortune. It's like the highest costing coin. Like, it gets you the most value, and when it goes up to 10 times, if you can get a 10 times stock market rise with 10 times thief and 10 times slot machine, you'll be making quintillions, sextillions. You'll be making unbelievable amounts of money. I think it's the way to go. If whenever I got a thief, I would just try to spin, and then I'd pray that my stock market's up. Like, look how much. Look at my bottom of my screen. Look how many skill tree points I'm making at this point. Like, but like, it may seem like a lot of skill tree points before the upgrade, before the update. That would have been a fortune worth of skill tree points, but after the update, it's not. There's like, I think there's like 120 odd points you have to put into the skill tree now. It's actually insane, and to think I was so close. Also, one side note, the thing I really hate about the jackpot machine is you can spend your coins, but you can't buy them back. So if you're at the max of 90 copper coins and you buy one, you can't buy any more, like, or you spin one, you can't buy any more copper coins. Also, they added a coin cap. They added a coin limit. So you see there on the right, just above the helper screen, it says 191 out of 200. This means that I can only have 200 coins of any type on the screen. So 100 of those could be copper coins, and you'd be in the shitter. I actually thought it was really annoying, but there we are. I managed to get 100 trillion, and so that left me with one more achievement, which was the completionist achievement, which was just to get all the skill tree points. And honestly, at this point, I was just kind of hitting the AFK every now and then. Like, I thought I had enough coins here to max it out. 20. I was stupid. I invested all 20 of those into my skill tree point. I had nothing to show for it, like, genuinely nothing to show. So in dumping a fuck ton of points into the skill tree, I was starting to genuinely get so fed up. Like, I was actually at my wit's end towards the end of this, and just the sheer amount of skill tree points I still needed. I counted after I put all 20 of these points into the skill tree. I counted how many more I'd need, and it was like 50 or something. It was ridiculous. So I had to break out the forbidden technique. The forbidden technique, of course, that is sitting AFK. Yeah, I just sat AFK for ages. Wait, I think I had a stroke of genius. So I was just sitting here grinding out skill trees, and it says unlock every skill in the skill tree, right? Now, they added to upgrade, but it only says unlock. So if I do this, does this count as unlocking them all, or does it want them fully maxed? Spoiler alert, it wanted them fully maxed. Yeah, I thought I was being like, Albert Einstein. Turns out I was just Albert. But it didn't count, even though it does. The achievement technically does say unlock all the skills in the skill tree. It doesn't say, oh, fully max all the skills in the skill tree. So I thought I was being really smart, but I didn't. And in fact, I actually made it harder on myself, because when I went back to put, skill points into the skill tree, I was straight searching around, and I felt like, I felt blind, to be honest, because I couldn't find what else I needed to put skill points into. I nerfed myself. Like, I actually thought I was being smart, but I just straight nerfed myself. So after a lot more grinding, and just like, the progress I'm making at this point is insane. Like, look how fast my skill tree points are going up because of the sheer amount of money I'm earning. See, this is what I was talking about. You see, the graph now is times 10, and I'm trying to spin here for a 777. Unfortunately, it bottomed out though, which, is not what you'd be wanting to do. I also think that right there, what I just spun, is so useless. What it does is it collects them all into the middle the board or whatever. I think it's the most useless ass spin in the whole of the fucking jackpot machine. And I'm not even over exaggerating. It does nothing helpful. It would be worthwhile spinning for a lot more hats because I got this upgrade in the skill tree that means for each hat you unlock, you get a 1% bonus on your profits. So I was like, you know what, this might be worth it if I get 29%, 29 hats, 50 hats, that's 50% bonus. So I was like, yeah, I'll spin for a few hats. And then eventually I managed to get enough skill points. I managed to get what we need. 54 skill points. I also don't know why it jumped like that. Did you see that jump? What the fuck? It must have just been because I was earning, like, I must have got a thief or something. In fact, I did get a thief. There it is. So I must have just got lucky. I managed to earn 55 skill points, and yeah, I went to the skill tree and I managed to get them all. Why is it not giving it to me? Unlock every skill in the skill tree. So yeah, it turns out I was dumb and I missed this one tiny upgrade. That's what I was talking about earlier when I said, you know, I kind of nerfed myself. But this time around, I actually managed to. That's it. Achievement complete. Wait, hold on. Let's go in. Let's go in. That is 100% achievement on Gambler's Table. And it took me. When did I get this achievement? 22 hours, 29 minutes, and 48 seconds to get every single achievement in this game. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, subscribe. And if there's anything else you want me to 100% or do a challenge on, let me know.